Hey yo, I hope everybody can hear me okay. This truck kind of loud. But just recently we had a move, my team and all, and it was about the move. It took 2 or 3 days to load the truck. Took a 3-hour drive to get it delivered to where it's supposed to be, where they stuff was supposed to be delivered. And what had happened was they had way more stuff than what they even realized. It had been a year since I seen this place. The first time I quoted them one price, but just in the words of Fat Joe, when they called me this time, they never done the move. So when they called me this time, I let them know, hey, the old price isn't the new price. So I let them know that, hey, the old price isn't the new price. They were cool with that. So in my haste, we were very busy. I re-quoted them, sent them all the paperwork, everything. Well, when I got there, when my guys got there, did not know that you bought more stuff. No one told me anything. No one said anything. Hey, I get it. It is what it is. So what was supposed to be a full truckload wound up being 2 truckloads. Now we have all this going on. What should have been a more simpler move turns into an entire ordeal where when we get to the destination, they don't have enough space in the storage. But what people do, hey, you know customers, you know how people can be sometimes, they blame me. You saw how much stuff we had. You should have told us to get a bigger storage, throwing it all on me. So once again, we're busy. I don't have a lot of time to dedicate to this. I tell them, so the customer says, the way they had to pack the storage and everything, I believe some of my stuff is damaged. I say, okay, I'll tell you what, I'll give you some time, go through everything, and we'll gather and talk about this a little later. I said, I'm gonna give you a few days. When I speak to them again, the husband, he lets me know, hey, your team is amazing. They're great guys. They're very hospitable. They're very nice. All these things I know because I trained them. But his thing was, there wasn't enough space in the storage, and I personally feel like they didn't load the storage right. They this, they that. So when I tell him, all I said to him was, hey, I did not send you rookies. These guys were my top guys. And he says, hey, hold up now. Don't try to gaslight me. And so I'm thinking, gaslight? First of all, I don't use fat language. I'm a grown behind man. 42 years old, soon to be 43. I don't use fat language. I never done that yes sir and all that kind of stuff that people use. I mean, I was an English major at Georgia Southern, for God's sake. Go Eagles. I don't use that language. I'm able to pontificate at such an extreme level. I don't have to downgrade myself to such vernacular. So he tells me, don't try to gaslight me. And here's my point. We're living in an age where people will throw out certain narratives and false narratives to try to manipulate a situation. When he said that, number one, he's throwing out something that he himself is doing. Because all I'm trying to let him know is, I have no problem working with you. I have no problem trying to figure this out. But I'm not in a position to where I'm not just going to allow you to throw us under the bus. So can we find a meeting point? Instead of finding a meeting point, he says, you're trying to gaslight me. Well, no, I'm not trying to gaslight you. You are looking to take full advantage of this situation. And so I have to be able to defend myself in a sense where while I am trying to work with you, while I am working with you, at the same time, let's come together and agree at a certain point. What am I saying? We really have to be careful of these people. There's a lot of, in this last days, the Bible says people will be lovers of themselves. What does that mean? People are become very narcissistic, where it's about them, it's about how they can manipulate and play a situation. And so a lot of times I see people throw out things or be accusatory of things that they themselves deal with. I see narratives that are trying to be played today, certain narratives that are thrown out here that are so inaccurate. And it disrupts the communicative process. I heard this saying, I thought it was so powerful. The worst thing about communication is that people will walk away and think it actually happened. What am I saying? People will walk away with a misunderstanding, because if you're not attempting to try to understand the individual you're discussing or talking with, you will find yourself creating a narrative. So instead of discussing things, we'll create a narrative that somebody may be racist. Well, they may not be racist. It may be a certain thing they're going through. And see, once again, I'm not saying racism doesn't exist. What I'm trying to say is we have to be careful with the narrative, because people throw out certain narratives to hide who they really are, to hide certain behaviors, to be discreet with certain behaviors and certain things they're doing. And that's why we have to slow down for a minute and say, let me analyze this, not from the perspective of this person being whatever, but how can I be my best self? How can I make sure I'm secure in this and make sure that I'm protected in the sense of I walk away whole? I just wanted to share that. We have to be careful of the narratives. This gaslighting thing, don't even a lot of people with this gaslighting. And then I asked my wife, I said, what do you know what that means? Because I know what it means. It's attempting to make it's making somebody think something that doesn't exist, or making somebody, or trying to play on somebody's thinking. It's a way of it's creating smoke and mirrors. And so while that exists, I asked my wife, I said, what? She said, it's a word that they use on housewives. Housewives or whatever. I don't know, Atlanta, whichever one. It's all lame. And I'm like, oh, so it's a fad phrase. And here's the worst part. She says it's popular on that show. Well, I hear this from a man. Oh, don't try to gaslight me. Dude, grow up. Grow up. Let's talk like men. Let's reason. Let's come together and agree on some things and try to come to a mediation. Be careful of the narratives, the false narratives that's being presented out here in the media, in social media, everything. We are in a false narrative world because people are so narcissistic, and people would rather allow you to think something about themselves and about situations that's not true. I just want to share that with you. Hey, hope somebody enjoy that or get something out of it. Not enjoy it. It's not entertaining. It's about learning. Share that with somebody. Y'all be blessed. Peace.